It's fantasy football draft season. You're looking for upside wide receivers. You do not know where to start. You see some rookies. You know it's a weaker wide receiver class this year. So you do not know which one you want to pick up in this year's draft. Today we're going to be talking about Travis Hunter, the good, the bad, the ugly, to see whether or not you want to draft him for your fantasy football team. We're going to deep dive the analytics, the situation, historical numbers, and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing these deep dives every day. We're doing the rankings. We're talking draft strategies. We're going to help you set your lineups and find those gems off the waiver wire. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're talking about Travis Hunter today. He was drafted in the first round to the Jacksonville Jaguars after a decorated career at Colorado. This is a big-time prospect who's going to be playing on both sides of the ball. This got a lot of people confused about him, whether or not how many snaps he's going to play, which side of the ball he's going to play. We're going to talk about that throughout this video, but we're going to start from the bottom here, from his high school days. This was a decorated prospect. This was a huge prospect coming out of high school. This was the number one player in the country at cornerback and played wide receiver. This was a player that was looking to do some big things. Went to Jackson State. Went with Deion Sanders. That caused a huge ripple effect. Everybody wanted this kid from Alabama, Florida State, Auburn, Clemson, many other schools. They already had him projected as a first-round pick. They got him compared to Charles Woodson, many other top defensive backs. He was a playmaker. You saw that on the highlight reel. And when we got to Jackson State, we went off. And we played on the defensive side of the ball. But when we got to Colorado, we started making plays. 57 balls caught, 721 yards, 5 touchdowns. We were a key selling point to College Football 25. Then the follow-up year in 2024, almost 100 balls caught, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10.6 ADOT, 4.9 yards after the catch per reception. This is a wide receiver that made play after play. That was the heartbeat of the Colorado Buffalo. This was a guy who played on both sides of the ball, well notarized, big-time prospect that you're looking at here, and played on all the snaps. He can go. There was one game, week 11, 170 snaps. That's like 3 games worth for the average player that's starting on the offensive side. He can take on a lot of work, and he can be productive at a high level, playing both ways, and we all know that. And he was rather dominant. 153 yards against Cincy, 140 against Stanford, North Dakota State, 132, 130 against Baylor. You can definitely question the strength of schedule here. Everybody did for the Colorado kids. But again, he was productive. He was dominant. With the hand dealt to him, he took it over. He passed those tests. We got drafted in the first round. The Jaguars traded up to get him. They're going to use him both ways. We've seen that. We've seen it in practice. Second player off the board, highly athletic prospect, a guy that can get it done on both sides of the ball. Of course, he's going to be a huge asset for the Jaguars. But you look at this wide receiver depth chart. You look at it, and you got Dyami Brown brought in from Washington, Parker Washington, you got Cephas, and you got Brian Thomas Jr., your young stud wide receiver. So there's opportunity for him to cook on this depth chart. When you look at this depth chart, you look at all those guys running routes on the field, it's hard to see Travis Hunter sitting on the bench and knowing the talent he has and not being out there. He's a very talented prospect. He needs to be out on the field. That's why he's getting work on the offensive side of the ball first and getting dabbled in on the defensive side. The splits is almost 50-50, 171 on snaps versus 160 in practice per Yahoo. But he's getting the start on the offensive side of the ball. And Liam Cohen has said, hey, we're going to progress him on the defensive side as well. They need more help on the offensive side of the ball. They definitely do, because they don't have Christian Kirk anymore. A couple years ago in 2022, he was a huge asset to this team, playing the short to intermediate, and just having a wide receiver playing the short to intermediate, but also playing downfield next to Brian Thomas Jr. Just somebody that can gel with Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be huge for this offense, which is something prior to the draft pick they didn't have. And now they have that with Travis Hunter. He's going to be out there on the field. Like, you look at what's on the roster there, and you're going 2 wide receiver sets, 3 wide receiver sets, 4 wide receiver sets. How are you not going to have Travis Hunter out there? Brian Thomas Jr. is a dog. He's one of the better wide receivers in all of football. He was a big-time prospect. They drafted him in the first round. He has elite speed, 4.33 speed, killed it at LSU, has a nasty release package, aggressive out of the break, aggressive when the ball's coming to him in the air, can make plays downfield. He's still going to get his. He's still going to get his. Not worried about the target share, not worried about the opportunity. He's going to stretch the field. He's going to get his opportunities. He's going to catch his moments. But when you're looking at rookie wide receivers, you have to remember, and this is also all rookies, running backs too, there's a ramp-up period. And I just pulled some of the top-tier wide receivers, some of the recent fantasy scoring wide receivers in their rookie seasons. Like, you're looking at Jamar Chase. There was a little ramp-up period, but it was all right. Justin Jefferson, you see a ramp-up period before he started getting consistent. Brian Thomas Jr. was cool in the start, but it was a ramp-up to what we finally saw at the end of the season. Same thing with Ladd McConkey below me. His start was okay, but his ramp-up period was much better once we started blasting off. Mike Evans had an up-and-down rookie season. Julio Jones had a weird rookie season. You had some things baked in there. A.J. Green did not have a ramp-up. Not all rookies need a ramp-up. Puka Nacua didn't need it. Malik Neighbors might be ramping up to something special this year. That's one thing the chart's saying, because he's a player that looks like can deliver more wide receiver 1 weeks than what he did last year, especially with all that volume. But what I'm trying to tell you with this is if the first 3, 4, 5 weeks are anticlimactic, maybe he has a few good games, but it feels anticlimactic, and you drafted him kind of high, you do not drop him. You got to hold on tight. We see this at the running back position too. One reference I've been using is Devin Achan. During the start of his career, it was anticlimactic, and people were asking, can I drop him? Can I drop him? With a talented rookie like this, you just got to hold on tight during those first few weeks. It's going to look different with all these rookies, but their high-end production is going to come later. A few of them blast off the rip, but you're going to have to wait for that more often than not. And Travis Hunter is a talent that you do not want to cast aside. If you can't handle that, don't draft him. There's other players around him. But if you can handle that, and you know what you're getting into, then that's something you need to explore in your draft, because he is a talented wide receiver. He's also in a situation here where there's opportunity. Christian Kirk's gone. He was pushing a 20% target share in 8 games last year. They were trying to get him the football. They don't want to get Parker Washington the football. Gabe Davis is gone. There's open opportunities here. Donnie Brown's very athletic, a sneaky prospect, but he was not getting it done in Washington. And he was not at the same level as we see with Travis Hunter, but a good prospect coming out of college. But Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get a 25-ish% target share. He's going to get a lot of opportunity. And he's in line, Hunter, to get a lot of opportunity in this offense. Once games start being played, you start looking at what's here on the roster. You got to have him out there. You got to have him out there. You look at the average depth of target of all the wide receivers here, running significant routes, all of them into double digits. That's good for Travis Hunter. Once he starts pushing a 20-ish% target share, he's going to get an ADOT, 10, 11, 12. You look at Christian Kirk, who's usually closer to the line of scrimmage, rocking a 13.7. Hunter's going to catch some deep balls. He's going to see some deep targets. He's going to see some opportunities, which is great for fantasy football, and he's going to rack up some targets. He's going to see those opportunities on the field. You just got to be patient with him, or maybe you blast off week 1, but I'm also telling you for your strategy to keep that in mind, but you're looking at the draft capital here. He's going 5th round, underdog drafts, home league drafts. Rookies kind of get faded a little bit sometimes, and sometimes they might get pushed up, like a guy like Travis Hunter, who's got a lot of name cachet, might get buoyed up. But Travis Hunter might come at you at a discount where he goes a little bit cheaper than this. The caveat, the opportunity costs are the running backs in this area. This is where you can get your RB2 or your upside rookie here at the running back spot. RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson, picking your poison there. Same thing there. Rookie ramp up might be in play with those guys. You got some veteran running backs, your RB3 or RB2. Say you went wide receiver, second round, third round, fourth round, and you got your hero RB. Now you're thinking, man, what if I just get a running back here and keep going? More than likely, if you do that, you're missing out on Travis Hunter. More than likely. And then after Travis Hunter, the pool of wide receivers, you got some dependable veterans that can get you some boom weeks, but they're also not expecting to win the league for you. You also got some wide receivers that are younger that's looking to take a step forward. Mika Buka, Ricky Pearsall, Romo Dunze. Ambiguous. Anything could happen with them. You can say the same thing with Travis Hunter. All of them have their cases to be made and cases against them. They are also a little bit cheaper. So you could actually probably get both of them, whatever your poison is. But you're looking at Travis Hunter. Your question is, who do you like? I do like the veteran running backs here. I think there are some builds, because some of you guys look at this, player good, player bad, player this over player this. You also got to look at the builds in this range, how you're building your team. I think there's going to be some builds where I'm looking at these RB2s. And I think there's going to be some builds here where I'm looking at these rookie running backs and I might be missing out on Travis Hunter. However, I'm watching the board, and if it thins out to a point where the running backs aren't there on those certain builds, and those builds are usually, I got one running back at the top, I'm pretty good at wide receiver. I don't feel like I need to take any risks at wide receiver because I'm good on the top end, but I want to take risk at running back or just get a steady RB2. More than likely, I'm passing them up. However, if I'm diversified, say I go running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, or something like that. Now I'm coming to Travis Hunter, him versus the running backs, him versus Zay Flowers. I've got two good wide receivers already. I kind of want something with some upside, because with two good wide receivers, if everything maintains, and if that wide receiver hits like a Travis Hunter, I'm golden. I might be dominant. I might be taking it over. Playoffs might be easy for me, because once I get past that rookie ramp up from weeks like, 9, 10 onward, we're spiking up there. Travis Hunter could be a huge play for me that wins my league, allows me to be dominant. So who can make me dominant as a player like that? There's other rookie wide receivers down below him that have opportunity to do so, like a Matthew Golden that we're going to talk about in his own video. But think about it in terms of strategy and roster build and construction, not player good, player bad, because I can pivot back and forth. Because what if I took a shot earlier in this draft? What if I went like a Rashee Rice, who I believe is going to fall in ADP anyways, who a lot of you guys are going to fade, a lot of people are fading. What if you went Xavier Worthy and you're like, there's a lot of risk there, and he's in year 2, but I'm questioning it, I don't feel it? Then you're more than likely going to go with like a Devonta Smith, a DK Metcalf, a Calvin Ridley to get you that safety net underneath them. However, if you went hard in the paint, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, whatever the build is, whatever fell to you, just talking out my butt here. But then you say, hey, I got my running backs with this. Let's get Travis Hunter. Let's get that upside play. Let's get an upside play paired with that. I can eat the cost of a rookie ramp up. It's going to be easier for me. See how those charts earlier, knowing that there's a historical trait to some of these top-end wide receivers, not all of them, something you need to prepare for with your builds. And you're looking at underdog ADP. They're dropping him a little bit. And one thing with underdog ADP is best ballers are heavily prevalent May, June, July. Redrafters are jumping in around August, and they're noticing, and they know he's a rookie, and setting lineups with a rookie ramp up is pegged in there. I'm not the only one that talks about it, but I kind of gave it a term, and I gave you the charts so you know how it's at play. The rookie ramp up also got you at a discount with Travis Hunter. Before, he was much more expensive. Also, with that expense, the market's saying earlier, before redrafters jumped in, saying, hey, this is a very talented wide receiver. We're willing to pay up for him. We're willing to get him. Rookie camp, OTAs, minicamp was all during that period, during training camp. All the news was more prevalent with the Jaguars during that time, actually, because they're more heavy during that period when it comes to the beat writers dropping off news. Then during training camp, things are a little bit more sealed off. Now you're looking at Travis Hunter. The market was paying up more for him, and now you're catching him at a little bit more of a discount if you want to look at him that way. You want him because he's an elite talent. He could smoke this league. It could be week 1. It could be week 6. It's going to happen. The opportunity is going to be there. Both him and Brian Thomas Jr. could be commanding target shares in the 20s. Both of them could be legit assets. We have a few teams in the league that can fuel 2 wide receivers. And how that usually looks like when that happens is 2 wide receivers get all the targets. There's not many scraps left for anybody else. That could happen. These are legit talents. There's rookie risk here. There's always going to be rookie risk. He's playing both sides of the ball. He's getting opportunities there. He's a high-end talent. But that ramp-up period, you can't handle it. You FOMO. You're not patient. That's not you. There's veterans around that you can pivot to. Your build doesn't work with it at that moment, and you went the other way. There's a million different ways to go against him. Is he a good player? Yes. Do you absolutely need him where he's going at? There's a little value here. There's a little value here when you're looking at a wide receiver with upside. He's cheaper than T-Mac. If you're asking who you would rather have, he's cheaper. T-Mac, the market is saying, hey, we'd rather have him. They're drafting him ahead of him. But you take what you want there. I believe both of them are going to be, at the end of the season, commanding around a 20% target share. I think T-Mac's in a better situation to be 100% the guy. But I believe that Travis Hunter's going to come along pretty strong somewhere down the line. It just depends on when in this offense. But there's not much competition. He's developing well. And he's also at a very good price. A very good price where you can explore that upside. And if it takes some time and maybe him hitting his upside and his stride is next year, you're not eating much. You're not. Wide receivers thinning out. You see the pool, it's thinning out. You may want some of those other wide receivers better than a rookie that's ramping up, that starts hitting weeks 10, 11, 12, 13. You don't want to feel right that the player's right. You want to get those fantasy points. But still, that risk is involved because if he hits and hits hard, you're looking at a talent that's giving you production as a round 3 pick, a round 2 pick, a round 1 pick. And that price is there because there's opportunity for that. And the market's saying there's opportunity for that. And the Jaguars told you that, picking them at the 102 spot. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.